And welcome to another Macintosh Monday. I'm Mike, and this is my second take of this video because my wireless microphone died after I recorded the first video, and it died like 4 minutes in. You know, you have to charge things or else they die. If only microphones had a standard of wireless charging, kind of like, you know, Qi wireless charging, it'd be a lot better. It'd be a lot better for everybody. But while we're on the subject of Qi wireless chargers, let's talk about Qi2 because it's coming by the end of the year. So the Wireless Power Consortium, or WPC, they're the ones who make up these standards like Qi. Well, I think it is just Qi, but they're the ones who basically make up Qi, which every phone, including the iPhone, uses. Well, they've announced that Qi2 is coming, like I said, by the end of the year, and it will take a lot from MagSafe, like a lot. Like it's almost pretty much gonna be the same thing. So Qi2 is gonna have a magnet ring like MagSafe. It's going to have different power profiles, so it can go up to 15 watts right now, but the power profiles will allow them to possibly go to higher power levels in the future. It's going to have authentication, so someone can't make like a bootleg version of it that's not Qi2 certified, or else it won't work. And this is going to work with every phone, including iPhones and Android phones. So yes, they're going to get their own version of MagSafe essentially. Now, you would think that they're stealing all this stuff from Apple, but Apple is also part of WPC, so they were pushing for a lot of this stuff to become standard. So it looks like Qi2, or the wireless chargers we see in the stores, are going to be very similar to what we have on the iPhone with MagSafe. Now, we don't know if those chargers are going to be compatible with the current MagSafe iPhones, but it's Apple, so I could see them listing this as like a new feature for the upcoming iPhone 15 or whatever. It's like, oh, this is Qi2 compatible, especially because those chargers are going to start launching by the end of the year. We're going to be sitting here with our 14s and 14 Pros being like, really? So yes, this will be the new wireless charging standard. Now, the one thing that I like better about Qi chargers versus MagSafe is, like, if I have my phone charger like laying down on a desk on a wireless charger, I can just pick it up. But like, obviously with MagSafe, the magnet, you got to pull it off. But it is good if you want to use a wireless charger but still want to use your phone, like, you know, hold your phone in your hand and use it. That's why I have my MagSafe puck on my desk, so I can charge it, you know, if my phone's dying, but I can still use it if I need to. And then in my bedroom, I actually have it like vertical mounted, a MagSafe Duo, and I just stick my phone up there on a pegboard every night, so I can save space on my dresser by not having my phone up there. So I pretty much exclusively use MagSafe on a daily basis. So it's kind of cool to see that standard rolling out across the whole smartphone arena. It's going out to everybody. But you know what's not going out to everybody? The iPhone SE 4th generation, because the rumor is from Ming-Chi Kuo that this iPhone has been canceled. Now, the rumor doesn't address why the phone has been canceled, but it says that this phone was supposed to debut Apple's new 5G modem. So Apple, a few years back, they bought Motorola's modem business because they had a whole falling out with Qualcomm, and they went to Motorola, and Motorola was making their 4G modems, but then Motorola was like, nah, we getting out the game. And so Apple bought their modem business and brought it in-house. But of course, with the switch to 5G, they didn't have the tech in place to make 5G modems. So right now, Qualcomm is basically the only one who can meet the demands of the iPhone that's making 5G modems. So they had to go back to Qualcomm for their 5G chips. So it would make sense if they eventually develop their own 5G chip, and then they can go back to not using Qualcomm. So yes, it makes sense if Apple was making their own 5G chip, and the iPhone SE makes sense for the perfect phone to test that in, because someone who buys the SE, someone who's a more budget conscious user, is not going to be too picky about network performance, and it's probably a phone that doesn't sell super well for Apple. So it's not like if they release this first generation 5G modem and the iPhone SE and it has issues, it would affect as many users as they put in like the iPhone 15 or 16, like one of their mainline phones. So this would have made a lot of sense, but apparently it's not going to happen. I don't know if it's because they had issues with the 5G chip, or what would be the reason for canceling the phone altogether. That part of it doesn't make any sense. But again, these are all rumors and speculations, so we don't 100% know if it's true. And you know what I hope is not true? This new rumor about the Mac Pro. So we got a couple new tidbits about what the Mac Pro could look like. And I've been saying for a while, like, I'm really curious as to what this computer is going to be, because so far every product, including the Mac Studio, which is technically a desktop, has just been an all-in-one thing with no upgradable parts. Apple doesn't currently have any like separate GPUs or anything that they sell, so we don't know what that upgrade path is going to look like. But apparently the RAM is not going to be upgradable in the Mac Pro if this rumor is true. So the storage is going to be upgradable, and apparently they're going to have some kind of upgradable graphics solution, and the system itself, the Mac Pro, is going to look exactly the same as the current one, but the RAM is going to be part of the SoC, which makes sense because in all of the M1 and M2 products so far, the RAM has been part of the SoC. I mean, they've all been laptops and all-in-ones. I was hoping maybe they did something different with the Mac Pro, but I don't know. This whole thing seems weird. A lot of the speed and efficiency they gained was by everything being on that same package, so it kind of would make sense as to why it's not upgradable. But in that same token, the GPU is also in that same package, so that's why I was kind of concerned. Are we really going to have replaceable GPUs in this thing? I mean, the storage thing is kind of a no-brainer. You could obviously probably add in storage. It's not that big of a deal. But the GPUs and the RAM were the thing I was worried about. So if this is true, then we already know that one of them will not be upgradable. But there is a solution to this, kind of. It depends on how they do the M2 chip or whatever chip ends up going in there. If it's a replaceable chip that you can buy, like an upgraded version of the chip and just put it in the motherboard and upgrade it that way, it's not the best solution to the problem, but at least it would be a solution. I'm just hoping like it's not one board that's all together and the chip is soldered on there, and then you have to buy a whole board with the chip just to do an upgrade. That would be a lot. So hopefully, if this is true, Apple has some kind of solution in place for the pro users that want to upgrade, because that's the whole point of this computer, for it to be modular. If it's not going to be modular, then they might as well just stop making it. As for those type of professionals, I need to be able to configure the computer the way they need to and maybe repair and change things on the fly. So if it doesn't do that, then it's useless. But like I said, we'll see how it turns out whenever this thing comes out. But you know, it might be out very soon, as in this year. Of course, the rumored Apple VR headset. Now, the current rumor says it's going to be out closer to the end of the year, but we might get an announcement for it before that. So there's a new rumor that Apple's VR/AR headset will be announced at a spring event prior to WWDC. Some of the reporting I saw said it could be at WWDC, but either way, everything's pointing to springtime for the announcement and then end of year for release. So if these rumors are true, we should hear something about that headset finally in the next couple months. And I'm wondering what kind of AR experience they're going for. I wonder if they're going to include any gaming, and I wonder how big it's going to be, because if it's like a big headset that you got to strap to your head, it's not going to do any better than any of the other headsets that are on the market. I love my VR stuff, but that is one of the things that keeps me from using it as often. It's like, I gotta put this whole big thing on, strap it to my head. It is kind of clunky. Like, I kind of like the concept of Google Glass, but better executed. Hopefully it'd be something like that where you can get AR stuff and it's like the whole screen, like the lenses. Because if they do prescription lenses, I'm gone. My regular glasses, I'm trading them in, and I'm getting those. I don't wear my glasses all the time, mainly when I go out of the house. I have to drive somewhere because I'm nearsighted, but I wear my glasses 24/7 if I can get cool AR stuff and get notifications and browse the web while I'm driving. That sounds dangerous, actually. I better go ahead and get out of here before I say anything else that could be potentially incriminating. But let me know what you think about today's stories down in the comments. Do you think it's cool that the new Qi wireless standard will basically be MagSafe? What do you think about the 4th gen iPhone SE potentially being canceled? Do you think Apple should release a Mac Pro even if it's not upgradable? And are you excited to find out what Apple's stupid VR AR headset that we've been waiting for years is finally about? Again, let me know down below. I'm gonna get out of here. You have a great rest of your day. Peace out.